The house is always busy and joyful and full, but it's always lively.
To be the mother of 8 children, honestly, the first thought is overwhelming. That number is large, but it just has helped me, child by child, to grow in virtue, because, that's humility of knowing what I can do and what I can't do, and where my place is under God, and a lot of extra hands and help, and just a lot of extra love to go around. So, yeah, I have definitely grown into that number, with each child, and also grown into my motherhood.
Being the father of 8 children is quite often overwhelming, and it can be challenging. I mean, this is where I have found falling back on St. Joseph to be so helpful, and my attitude towards my fathering is trying to pick up on all those different ways that St. Joseph was such a great saint. We did grow up together. When we were in high school, Adrianne's family moved in on our block.
We did not know each other. We just knew of the families. So I knew that this large family sat in this one pew every Sunday. We would see them at Mass, and they would take up the whole pew. And then one of their sons was in the car with me every day, traveling to school. His sister was driving. And he didn't speak to me at all for a couple of years. Even though we were in some of the same classes at school, we were even in the same grade. We're the same age.
There was a dance coming up, and the first time I tried to ask Adrianne to go to the dance with me, I said, "Adrianne," and then totally froze. I couldn't get the next word out of me. And Adrianne's like, "Yes."
Yes.
We dated from our end of senior year in high school.
Actually, a priest that we were very fond of propelled us to consider marrying each other, guided us more in that direction, which was very sweet. Father Tom Williams.
I would say the most valuable quality in Adrianne has been her ability of perception, especially of emotions, and her ability to just sense or feel when something isn't quite right with me or how I'm feeling, or with the children. And even though a lot of times I get sent in to help with cleaning up the situation, but I mean, she just always knows how people feel and can perceive that.
Kirk is a really good protector. I'm not sure why, but when I'm around him, I just feel safe and always have. And like I would be cherished and I would be taken care of. And he's always been physically strong, so that helps, of course. But also just like financially and just sort of, he had always attended to me. So that kind of protective nature in him is strong, and I appreciated that. But also what I think I was first drawn to is his humility. So very quiet and just didn't really have a lot to say about himself. He was always just, working hard and doing the best he could at his jobs. And Rosheen is our oldest daughter. She is 22 years old. She is just so happy, and she's very small physically, but her personality is just so filled with light. She just fills up the room. She's in any room. And she is very good at making everybody comfortable. I would say that was one of her top characteristics or attributes. She just always attends to the outlier or the person who's on their own and brings them into the group and to the conversation. She is a ballerina. She was up on point for a while, and that was the most beautiful thing to watch. It's so graceful. She is hoping to pursue a degree in sign language interpreting. She has some hearing loss in her left ear and is very gifted in sign language. And so I hope she gets to pursue that and fulfill her dream, because she would be excellent at it. Not only because of her experience, it was her first language that she learned. She couldn't speak when she was born, so Kirk and I taught her some signs, and she took it from there. But she's just so personable and a very good teacher. So she has many gifts. She's also plays tons of instruments and sings really beautifully, and that I definitely don't understand with a hearing loss. I don't know how that works, but she's a bit of a miracle all around.
So our second child, Quinn, he is now 21. I would say he's very technical-minded like myself. I think he's taken off more on the mechanical, electrical end of engineering, not so much the civil end, which is fine. But he's definitely been...
Helps you.
Yeah, he helps me. If I have any questions about, this motor or anything electrical or mechanical, is it worth trying to fix? He'll give me good advice for that. Or he's always been an entrepreneur from selling chicken eggs. Sorry, he bought like iPod, and he just Legos. He's always building things with his Legos, and his most recent purchase is he's bought a 3D printer. So he's always like going for the next step. Quinn is pretty internal like me. Like, he keeps quiet. Mm-hmm. You can tell when he's kind of something's bugging him, because he gets pretty quiet and kind of pulls back. So it's a good sign that we should probably talk to him about something.
Moira is 17. She just graduated from high school. She is extraordinarily capable in so many things, especially administrative. She's constantly trying to take care of my job as mom and run the house, and she does it better most times, so that's good. She is very detail-oriented. She's a fabulous seamstress. She's very nurturing and caring. She's always looking out for the younger siblings and wanting to put on a book for them or read to them or take them to the park. She's very aware of them being around and likes to care for them. She is hoping to be a sailor in some respect, either the military or just own her own sailboat. She's looking at purchasing one. She learned how to sail with the Sea Scouts, and it's just her thing. She lives on the water and in the water. She just loves that.
Tig, he just turned 16. He's very good at bringing others in to what he's doing with the group of friends. Like the other day, they were learning this new game that we just got, Spike Ball, and there were some kids that didn't have the coordination to play, and he made sure to change the rules so that they could participate in it with it. Just that big heart that always wants to involve somebody, or if you see something that's awkward for somebody else, to try to help that situation out.
Katrina is our next child, and she will be a freshman in high school. She is both physically and academically capable, we thought. From a very young age, just wanted to have acres and acres and acres of land so she could be a farmer. So we don't live on even an acre, but she has still managed to be a urban farmer. And she has bees and chickens, and she just loves being outside. She does speak well, and she just likes to listen and loves to read, and be with her animals.
I'd say one of her biggest virtues of Katrina's is perseverance. She's very, I don't know, perseverance, hard-headed.
She's very self-disciplined.
Self-discipline, even with the sports and running and things like 13-year-old, she just wants to get up and go for a run. She's challenged me with that. I try to keep up with her.
Yeah, she has really challenged the whole family in that a couple of areas of life in a positive direction.
Siobhan, our 6th child, she is 10. Yeah. And she's a challenge.
If there was a female Renaissance man, it would be her. She just has all these skills, and we don't quite know what to do with her or how to challenge her yet. We're still working through that and figuring that out, but she's very capable, it seems, in all areas. She's really sweet. She's very extroverted and very physically capable. So she's really a delight. Seems like she's always smiling, and everyone gravitates toward her, and also wants to run away from her at the same time. I'm not sure how to explain that.
She's definitely very creative. She's the one that will use her computer time to look up crafts, like how to make some neat card. When you open it up, it comes out. It's like 3D cards, and she's just always doing some neat craft or making a game. She's invented a couple of her own games.
Yeah, board games, especially paper. She's really drawn to paper activities. Aiden just turned 7. He loves to play Legos, and he and our youngest Fiona are just buddies. They go and do everything together. They're on the trampoline, they're playing Legos. Just so inquisitive. Everything is a question. So we tried to run a fun run recently, and it's just, you can hardly run because it's just questions the whole time. And I think in this time in our life, when we have more big kids than little, it's nice to be able to devote so much attention to their little questions. Aiden has a lot to say. He's very philosophical. He has a lot of really deep thoughts and a lot of really deep questions. And I sometimes don't know how to answer them, but I try to come back to him. But that's fun.
Yeah, I'd say Aiden's also, he's very emotional too. He's the one that when I get ready to leave, if he hears me leaving and he hasn't given me a hug, he runs out to make sure before I leave the gate that he gets me a hug. And if he doesn't give me a hug, sometimes he has to give me a call. But yeah,
every night he wants to snuggle. Yeah, it's really cute.
Fiona is the youngest. She is now 5, and yes, she is fearless.
Everybody dotes on her, wants to do story time with her, or help her pick out outfits, or play little critters with her. Basically, whatever she asks for is yes, unless it's, something naughty. She loves to bake, which is really sweet. She and Moira have a cute little baking routine that they do together, full on with aprons and everything. She's just pretty joyful and happy and healthy, thank God, and is happy to just kind of go along with her family and she stays with the pack and does she participates in whatever else anybody is doing. Her oldest sister, Rosheen, is teaching her piano. She will rope in everyone to teach her whatever it is she wants to know. I'm sure of it. She'll just be like the best of everything. She's a very quick learner.
We were both cradle Catholics. We both grew up in strong Catholic families. But I would say that we were pretty mediocre in our faith until our first pregnancy. We found out the same day that we went in for our 20-week ultrasound that we were having twins. And during that same hospital visit for the ultrasound, we also found out that one of the twins, Deirdre, was really sick. She had a diaphragmatic hernia. Going through that process, we really sharpened and strengthened our faith.
Every night we pray for we have lost 4 children. Deirdre died when she was a week old. And then we have had 3 miscarriages scattered in between. And so, yeah, somebody wise advised us to name our children. And then every night at Rosary, especially Fiona and Aiden, our youngest, just rattle the names off of all of those children, their siblings, who are in heaven. To pass on our faith, some of the things that we just do that are very obvious and physical is say hug training / blessing from Dad. It's a sweet tradition that came about and has turned into a lovely tradition of a blessing from Dad. We have some holy water that we keep just really handy. And so most mornings it's line up and the little kids just kind of run and jump into his arms, and depending on who's cranky and who's just like not into it or mad at us, get in here and let's squeeze each other and I love you, and Kirk bless their forehead every morning. So we call it hug training, but it's a little bit of a blessing.
I would say that being part of a big family has impacted, especially the older ones. They're kind of like a second parent to the little children. I'm at work most days, and Adrianne is homeschooling many of the younger ones, so they get roped into helping a lot. And every child has their own chores that they're required to do every day, and we talk about all the time that if someone doesn't do their chore, do their part, it makes the whole family suffer. And I really think that they see the value of working together and helping out and being part of the family. And they've been awesome at that. And I think that's one of our family strengths is the willingness to be together. We live about 5 minutes away from the water here. And so we load up the canoe, life jackets and paddles, and head out, go paddle around the sloughs or out to Jetty Island, be out there in nature with the children.
My family's very outdoorsy. We go on these activities like hiking, canoeing, paddleboarding.
There's so much growth, that can happen even through the struggle and the hardship. And I'm not gonna lie, it is difficult, especially when you have, you hear that someone has 3 small kids. It is hard. You're gonna be tired and things come up that you didn't imagine, and struggles in your marriage because you're tired, you're hungry, and all those will happen. That's just a guarantee. Again, it's worth it. It's worth it to put in that effort and to work through that struggle and those difficulties, and just to keep your chin up, run the race. It will be worth it. You'll see fruit, like Kirk said, you will see fruit from it soon. The 2-year-old doesn't stay 2. They'll be 8, they'll be 10, they'll be independent, they'll be this beautiful, little human that you'll be so impressed. Our capacity to love, increases with each child. In our relationship, in our family, that is hands down has been the case. And it's such a beautiful thing to now have this, years of experience of that continuing to be true. The response is joy, and the response is happiness and love. And you just kind of seeps out of you at some point because there's so much of it, and you're so grateful.
My heart growing as much as just contrary to the idea that your time is going to be divided or your love divided between your children. If you have 8 children, you're not going to have enough time to love each of them fully. I just haven't found that true.
We are the Wiebers,
and we are joyfully big.
Are you searching for fulfillment? Discover true happiness. Stay tuned to Shalom World.